recognize all the different endings, active and passive endings, first conjugation, second conjugation, third IO, fourth, sum, possum, AO. You need to know all of those. So this is going to be our little mini review on verb endings. So this is important. So let's start with first conjugation. And what I'm going to do is like a synopsis, but I'm going to do for every person and number, but I'm not going to write the whole verb. I'm just going to write the endings. So let's start with indicative. And there are two voices, active and passive. And three numbers, first, second, third, and singular and plural. Okay, for first conjugation verb, what's the ending for present? Oh, this is the present tense. What's the ending for present tense, first person singular? Oh. What's the ending for present tense, second person singular?
Is.
Os, because this is first conjugation. I'm putting the vowel in there as well. I'm not just putting the personal ending, I'm also putting the vowel. What about for third person singular? Ot. What about for first person plural? Amus.
Is that like present or
This is present tense.
Otis.
Otis. And aunt. Okay? Now in the passive, what's the first person singular ending? Or second person singular? It has two forms. One is aris, and the other one is are. Third person singular? Atur. First person plural? Amor. Second person plural? Amine. And third person plural? Amor.
I have a question.
Yes.
On passive,
Yes?
for soon,
Yes? There is no passive. No passive.
that's why I couldn't think of that.
Yep. Because you couldn't come up with them because they're not there. Okay, now let's do imperfect. And by the way, I'll go ahead and write a sample meaning up here. I'm not going to write all of them. I'll just say like this one is he loves. That's present tense. And then passive, he is loved. Now what person and number is that example? Third singular. Okay, now let's do imperfect. Imperfect, what's the ending for first person singular? I'm going to say abam. Second person singular? Abbas. Third person singular? First person plural? Second person plural? Bactus. And third person plural? About. Okay, now in the passive, what's the first person singular? Abar. Second person singular?
Abari, Sabari.
Good. Abaris or abare. And abatu. Plural? Abamor. Abamini. And abantu. Future.
Anybody white out? No.
Future?
Isn't it just both? Or abo?
Yeah, but I'm going to put the A in there, so abo.
Abis. a bit, a Venus, a Beaties, and a bunt.
Okay, all of you should have all of this memorized.
Is it or are? It's the single passive or present. It's the first one. Is it AR or OR?
OR.
Okay. I can't see.
Okay, now the few, oh, and by the way, this one I'll translate the imperfect. I'll go back to the imperfect. He was loving. And he was being loved. Okay, now the future passive.
Abor. Aboris. No. Aberries. Aberry.
Abitur.
Beamer, Bimini,
Abonitur.
Okay, now I'm not going to put the perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect here because it's the same for all conjugations. I'm just going to do that once, but because right now I'm doing things that are different for the different conjugations. So there is a perfect, a pluperfect, and a future perfect tense, but we're going to wait and do those. Right now I want to do imperative. So this is going to be imperative. And we will have active, and we will have passive, and we will have singular, and we will have plural. What does the imperative end in for first conjugation verbs?
A.
And the plural?
ATE.
Octet.
Can you give an example for the first conjugation?
Yes. I switch from he to I, it doesn't matter. I will love. I will be. Okay, so the singular imperative is a, like ama, and plural is ate, like amate. The passive,
Amare. Or
are,
Omni.
amen. Okay, the only other thing we have left is the infinitive. As of right now, we really only know the present. I gave you the perfect last time, but we're not going to put that on there. What does the active infinitive end in?
ARE.
ARE, and you translate that to love. And the passive infinitive?
ARI.
ARI.
Wait, so we didn't have to do the perfect on the synopsis? Synopses?
Oh, it couldn't hurt. I mean, you did it. You didn't have to do it. Okay. And by the way, the imperative, the way you would translate these is love and be loved.
And it's just singular and plural?
And it's just singular and plural, which we don't have a different way to say in English, so I didn't write it up there. So those are your first conjugation endings. Now there are the three other tenses, but I didn't write them up here because it's going to be the same for all conjugations. And just to save space, I didn't. Okay, so that's first conjugation. Now let's do second conjugation. We're going to see that second conjugation is very similar to first conjugation, but not identical. And the difference has to do with the vowel. So we'll start with the indicative. We have active and passive. Singular, plural. Singular, plural. This will be present. First person, second person, third person. And I'm not going to put the example translations on this one because the examples will be the same, yes.
I get some more. Pretty please.
AO, ace, et, eos, atus, and int are the present active endings. The present passive endings are aor, eris or ere, ator, amor, amini, and intor. So how is that like and dislike the first conjugation? So on this one, everywhere where we have an A, we have an E. There's one other difference.
For the first, there's an E before the O.
That's right. For the first person singular, we put the E in here, whereas the first conjugation, the A kind of got absorbed by the O. The A got eaten by the O. Because the O was hungry. Okay, now let's do the imperfect. Y'all should be able to guess what the imperfect is if I tell you the same sort of thing happens as happens in the present. So knowing that the second conjugation is like the first conjugation in the imperfect, what are we going to get?
Egom. Egos. Egos. Egomus. Egotis. Egom. Egar. Egaris. Egarai. Bachelor.
Afraid I'll have to use red. Okay, how about future? Y'all can all do this because it's just like, no, that's going to be for third. Second conjugation is like first conjugation except for the vowel.
Eon? Oh, I'm
It's
sorry.
like first conjugation.
Evo.
Evo.
This. Bit.
And then in the passive,
Ibor. This. Very. Here. Is it E-bimini? Or
it's ebimini.
E-bimini.
Jonathan, do you have your a fold-out card with all the endings?
I was gonna ask him about that.
Yeah, these are really handy if you find something like it.
I found them.
They have them sometimes at Barnes & Noble, sometimes I think these came from the LSU bookstore. And it has basically what I've got here, but it has, you know, all kinds of different endings on it.
What stuff we have on? I found one. I think Spark Notes makes one.
At where?
Spark Notes makes one, so they have a Barnes and Noble.
It's right next to the languages section. The languages section. For all girls.
Marie, did you say you saw him hiding your
Yeah, so that's my name.
Did you say hi to your neighbor?
Yeah,
No.
like they have in Spanish.
You're not supposed to have kids.
I got one, not in Spanish, and I stopped in Spanish.
Kenny, do you mind being on video?
Is Kenny on the video?
Yeah, he is.
I'll have to get a release from him.
You want a close up?
No.
Aww.
His
Okay.
name is.
All right. Although you do have to be careful because I have found a couple mistakes on that one. Just because they're printing a whole bunch of information in there, and you can imagine if you were typing all this, it'd be really easy to make a typo here or there. Okay. So now let's do the imperative. And we group first and second conjugation together because they're similar. So what do we think the singular imperative will be? AK, right? Array, maybe. All right, and then our infinitive. Okay, now one thing you might notice on here, I've mentioned before that I don't like second person singular, and I don't like second person singular because it's the one that gets weird, especially in the passive. But one thing that you might notice, you see this ERE ending? ERE shows up here, it shows up here, and it shows up here. So when you're doing your assignments and you see something that says it has 3 possible endings, that's one possibility for what it's going to be. Same thing here, we have the RA and the RA and the RA. By far, the most common is the present active infinitive. That's most likely to be what it is. But we group these two together, and it's a good thing to think of these two together because they're very similar. Now, your shortcut of what to remember is OST mustis int. And if you notice, those show up everywhere. OST mustis int. OST mustis int. Those are your personal endings. So those, don't learn those over and over again, that's going to show up. And then for imperfect, you'll notice something is imperfect, it has a ba in it. All of the imperfects have ba, BA, BA. You see something with a BA, it's imperfect.
Future is BI.
Future, now here's where future is tricky. If it's first or second conjugation, it has a BI in it. Usually, not always, because look, here we don't have a BI, here we don't have a BI. So the future is the one that's hard, yes.
For imperative, active, plural, is that ATE?
That is ATE. Okay, so we group these two together. Then the other 2 conjugations, we're going to have to move the camera. The other 2 conjugations we also group together because they have similar endings. So let's take a look now at third conjugation. And we'll start with indicative. Active and passive.